Hey out there, happy Tuesday. So I've been telling you guys about how good the Brown house is moving along. Well, I am even more motivated to get another house. I'm out there pounding the pavement, making my phone calls, driving neighborhoods, getting on the MLS, getting onto Zillow, all these different things. I don't have to tell you this. There's not a lot of houses out there. This is a seller's market. The prices keep on going up. As far as an investor, it's hard to find a house. I'm going to give you an example of that in 1 second because Rose and I went and took a look at a house in Keyport, New Jersey. I was going to say my hometown, but that's really not my hometown. I grew up in Union Beach, but I graduated from Keyport because we were so small in Union Beach we didn't have our own high school. Anyway, not only do I like to make videos on YouTube, but I also listen to a lot of stuff on YouTube, primarily about real estate. And if you listen to some guys, they're like doomsdayers, like the market crashed, the bubble bursting, all this negative stuff, and that might happen. I don't know where it's going. Neither do they. This cycle's going to end. We don't know when. We don't know what the step is, or as far as what the next step is. Anybody's guess is out there. What's going to happen with interest rates and everything else. But let me give you an example of what an investor is up against and why. I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to tell you where I'm at and why finding something like the Brown house or another deal that I can actually make an offer on is like finding a needle in a haystack. However, you got to be in that haystack to find a needle. I just made that one up. So listen, Rose and I took a look at a house today in Keyport. Listing price is $298. Caught my eye because it was on the market originally for $315. They lowered the price. That's a good sign for me. If something's not selling within like 2 weeks in this area, probably all over the country, then something's up with it. It's probably priced too high. So anyway, I said to Rose, hey, listen, this is probably not going to go anywhere, but let's take a look at the inside of the house, get our feet wet, working with each other. Maybe it'll benefit Rose, making a contact with another realtor, and her and I will get familiar with my train of thought and how I look at a house. Here's how the house looks. It's on the market right now for $298. Before I go out to the house, I will look at comps in the area just to get a ballpark. I'm not diving in too much because I don't want to spend too much time on it before I see if it's a good deal. So I see that max, even in this market, it would probably be worth $375,000. This is a real quick evaluation. The ARV is $375,000. I like the 70% rule. I've talked about it in previous videos. You can't always get there, but I like to at least have a number. 70% rule means I could spend up to 70% of the ARV, the after repair value. In this case, it's $375,000. That means I could spend up to $262,500. That's lower than the list price. This is like dead in the water, right? I'd have to get this house for a tremendously lower amount of money. That's not taken into consideration, well, I have to take into consideration the rehab money and the costs that go along with purchasing a property. When I see a property doesn't make sense before I even go out to take a look at it with the numbers, I'd have to get this for $262,500 without any costs, without any rehab costs, carrying costs, closing costs, or anything else, then I know it's probably not going to go anywhere. Just off the top of my head, what would we need to get this house for? Rose and I took a look through and we ran some numbers afterwards. I told Rose, even conservatively speaking, this house needs about $80,000 worth of work. So there's $80,000. What other kind of costs would we have? Just off the top of my head, at least $25,000 or $30,000. Closing costs, carrying costs, commission going outside if we go to flip this house, because I'd have to flip it. I don't think I'd be able to make enough to carry my my monthly nut each month. So anyway, we'd have to sell it. I value other people's time, and I never want to waste anybody's time. So when you look at this the initial numbers I ran, you could say, hey, Harry, that was a waste of time to even go out there. I mean, you'd have to pick it up for $30,000 less than what the list price is, and it needs $80,000 worth of repair. Why even go out? Is it a waste of time? Question mark. And the answer is no. It's still not a waste of time. We met a realtor that maybe handles these type of transactions. That's beneficial for Rose to have a contact. He seems like a nice guy, familiar with like short sales and things like that. That's what this house is, a short sale. Maybe he'll get a contact at the bank. Who knows? Maybe a year from now he's going to reach out and say, hey, I got another deal for you. Rose and I got to see how each other operates as far as going inside a house, quick evaluation, things like that. So my point is this. While everybody else on YouTube is throwing up their hands and saying almost like, well, we'll just wait till this ends and there's another cycle that comes along. Unfortunately, I don't have that. I can't do that because this is what I do for a living. So I got to be out there every day. I don't think Rose thinks that this was a waste of time. I don't think it's a waste of time. You got to be out there pounding the pavement, always looking, or the deals aren't going to come. I'm going to close with this. I'm just going to say I talked to Rose today and I said, I used to think that funding deals was the most difficult part of real estate investing. I'm coming to find out that finding deals is the most difficult, challenging part. So we're going to be out there every day looking at deals so I don't have to keep on talking about the brown house. I can have another deal to talk about. Until tomorrow.